WPTV.
Welcome back to the desk. The NFL season is finally over, and we have Tom Brady yet again. Before we even go into this, when I was a toddler, he won. When I was a little baby, he won. When I was in high school, he won. When I was in college, he won. This guy's got to stop. It's getting annoying. But Joe, Super Bowl 55, the Kansas City Chiefs were very much outmatched, as it was a 31-9 victory from the Buccaneers. What did you see from this game?
I saw a team missing two of their starting tackles play like a team missing two of their starting tackles. The offensive line got absolutely destroyed. Mahomes did the best that he could. Mahomes did not play terribly, considering everything, but they were just severely overmatched. Penalties got the best of them. Some questionable penalties there toward the end of the first half, but it's okay. The name of the game here is the Bucs front seven. I believe that they should have been named co-MVPs, all seven of them, because they absolutely destroyed the Chiefs' offensive line. I really cannot reiterate this enough, how much the Chiefs' offensive line got destroyed. That's my takeaway.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes was running for his life the whole game. Literally, from the first snap to the last, he was running for his life the whole game. I believe he was pressured 25 or 26 times, the most in Super Bowl history. Nijee, Joe, you also picked the Bucs too. Nijee, you picked the Bucs as well. What did you see from this game?
Yo, we all can see that Tom Brady is the best GM that lived right there. The three players that scored wasn't Bucs last season. Yeah, Gronk scored twice, and I told you Gronk going to be a major player. Nope.
I agree with you. I tried to tell everybody.
And then you got Leonard Fournette. And you got Antonio Brown. Mind you, Antonio wasn't making no noise out the whole playoffs in the Super Bowl. He got like 5 catches and 1 touchdown. Yeah, we've seen that Tom Brady is a good GM. Like wherever Tom Brady goes, after New England, and when we were going, we knew people were going to chase for a ring with him. So of course, now he got a ring. More vets are going to come to Tampa Bay just to get a ring and take pay cuts.
It'll be very interesting to see. Jimmy, I know you picked the Chiefs, as did I. Sad outcome there.
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl from the beginning of the season. Obviously, the offensive tackles being out hurt my prediction very much, as among others. But, as much as the NFL offense evolves year in, year out, and as far as the passing game goes, at the end of the season, we always say the same thing. Defense wins championships. And the Buccaneers front seven, Devin White, Shaq Barrett, JPP, Vita Vea, Ndamukong Suh. There's others I'm probably forgetting, but it's just absolutely incredible. We saw Antoine Winfield throw up the deuces to Tyreek Hill. He let him have it. They locked Tyreek Hill up all day. Absolutely no big plays for the Chiefs. Mahomes, heroic efforts. We saw him making 30-yard throws mid-air on his side, spinning around.
The greatest incompletions in NFL history.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you win the battle of the trenches. The Bucs did that, and that's why they're champs.
Yeah, great take there, Jimmy. Ryan, we'll go to you last. Todd Bowles, he pitched one hell of a game there.
He did.
The Kansas City Chiefs were one of the best scoring offenses in the last 3 years. They never scored below 10 points. Scored 9 points. So Ryan, just what is your thoughts on that? Because I think that's a feat in itself.
It really is, and we've been hearing from you and every other analyst, every other host in this country that the Chiefs are going to be the team to beat, both offensively and defensive. Well, maybe not as much as defensively, but their defense makes up for their offense makes up for their defense. But we've been hearing that they're going to be champions for the next 3 years, all this other stuff. What I saw was absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. But then again, I thought, it's Tom Brady. He's playing in the Super Bowl. It may not have been his doing, but he's playing in the Super Bowl. So therefore, I shouldn't be surprised. But yeah, Todd Bowles, what a hire, and what a phenomenal coordinator.
He was written off when he was a coach of the Jets. He was written off.
He's a terrible head coach, but he's a great defensive coordinator.
Hey,
and
he's going to earn another chance.
He got the jewelry, so I think that's all that matters to him at the end of the day.
Wait, I got one more thing before we go to another question. I felt like when the first quarter, I was like, yeah, good defense, yeah. And then by the second quarter, I started feeling bad for Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, when he started limping, I was like, they need to start blocking. They need to start blocking.
blocking was non-existent that game.
No, and also his receivers could hardly his receivers. How many dropped balls did his receivers have over the course of the game? That was another thing that stood out to me. Maybe they probably wouldn't have won because of the deficit that it ended with, but it definitely would have been a lot closer, maybe by possession, maybe even 2, if they just caught their passes. I know they were like passes from again, his back, his knees, or whatever the heck, but still they were right there in their hands. And it's just, you watch that and you think, what could have happened?
Yeah, but it's crazy. It's crazy. That's what happens in the game of football. But speaking of the game of football, the person that they declare the GOAT of the game of football, Tom Brady, 7th Super Bowl ring. That just sounds absurd. 5th Super Bowl MVP. Nijee, we'll start with you because you're the resident Tom Brady fan. I think you already think he's the GOAT, but what does this actually make him just in general? Because I think when people think of football, they're going to think of Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, just in general, it's just where he stands out on the rankings and pedestal, he's so far up that it going to take somebody else having a computer.
Go ahead, Joe, because I believe we did lose him.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Look, Tom Brady is not the greatest player in football history. He's not better than Deion Sanders. He's not better than Jerry Rice. He's not better than Peyton Manning. So to sit here and say that he's the GOAT based solely on team achievement would be a little naive of all of us, a little ignoring our eyes. Because, yeah, he wins. He wins, but it has nothing to do with how he performs. He shouldn't have been here. He threw 3 interceptions in the championship game. You know how easy it is to win Super Bowls when your defense holds teams like the Rams and the Chiefs to 12 points total in the last 2 Super Bowls. It's very easy.
Yeah, one thing you did just say, Joe, that caught my eye. I do think Brady is the greatest, but I do not think he is the best. I think there's very much of a difference between those two. Jimmy, we'll go to you next.
I mean, it's well, I shouldn't say it's undeniable. You can have the Michael Jordans of the world, but I mean, now he's in the discussion of greatest American sport athlete as far as the 7 rings, the Super Bowl. I think it'd be hard to argue that is the hardest championship to win in all of sports. We see how hard it is to repeat. Just look at the Chiefs. This guy's in contention every year in, year out. And he's not done. He wants to go to at least 45. He can drink all the avocado tequila he wants.
Crazy. It's crazy. No. Go ahead, Ryan, because I don't want to see this guy play.
Wait, Nijee, you probably won't want to hear what I have to say. I agree with everything that Joe said. I think that he is definitely, now listen, I think he's definitely, in terms of skill, he's definitely top 15. But in terms of championships, you can't argue with the GOAT status. I kind of agree with both Samory and Joe. No, he's not the most skilled, and people are going to say he is the most skilled. Look at how many championships he has. But then again, he does have 7 rings, and that I don't think will ever be beaten. So I definitely see both sides of the coin in that case.
Yes, 7 rings for anybody is going to be hard to get. Charles Haley had 5 rings for a long time, and he was the person that had the most. And Tom Brady has 2 more than him. Two Super Bowls. That's hard to get.
And also he had a great season this year. People don't realize that he had a great season. His statistics passing wise, passer rating, I think his passer rating was better than 3/4 of his previous seasons as a starter, and he's 43. That's amazing. The fact that he can do that at 43, I think that's another thing people are looking at. The fact that he can do it so far into his age.
I just like how we nobody talk about that. Like he's 43. He should be out the league right now. But instead of in Florida drinking instead of playing.
He was in Florida drinking.
and not playing football.
Well, he wasn't a Pro Bowler, so I don't know how good he really was compared to the rest of the
in the NFC QBs, it's always gonna be Aaron Rodgers, it's gonna be Russell Wilson, ain't gonna be somebody else that had an amazing season so of course Tom Brady not gonna be there. But he get it done when it mattered in the playoffs.
That is correct, sadly. Let's move along. Something Nijee just brought up, Joe just brought up, he did make a Pro Bowl. People may think he was snubbed. The NFL honors were also last Saturday. Few people may have been snubbed. Joe, we'll start with you. Who do you think is the biggest snub of this weekend's honors, or last weekend's honors?
There's a glaring answer that got a lot of attention, but I'm not going to go that route.
Hold on, before you go, Thank you, because I'd crush that. I would have to. I would have to.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, they gave it to the wrong Justin. I don't care. I understand. Justin Herbert's quarterback, and he's showed a lot of talent this year. Justin Jefferson missed the first 2 games and finished 4th in yards and 16th in receptions. This isn't a run-first offense with Adam Thielen on the other side. The guy put up insane games week after week after week. It's really him and Randy Moss in the conversation for best rookie receiving seasons ever. It's a total snub in my eyes.
Right.
I agree with Joe. I think that people that like rank the rookies in terms of where they stand, they need to look at it proportionally in terms of what other players at that position have done in the past. Many quarterbacks have done what Justin Herbert did in their first years, maybe even better. But again, Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson, when you can break down the conversation to just 2 guys, I feel like you got to give it to the second guy. You got to give it to Jefferson.
Jimmy?
Well, I do agree with the Justin Jefferson take, but I'd be remiss to just ignore that TJ Watt did not win Defensive Player of the Year. Someone's got
ready to get crushed. Here we go.
Someone's got to say it. I mean, the guy had more sacks than Aaron Donald, had more pressures. I think Aaron Donald had more forced fumbles, and that was about it. I mean, Aaron Donald, we all know how hard of a position defensive tackle is. We all know he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But I mean, this was TJ Watt's season, and I think he got the biggest snub.
I got it. Jimmy.
Oh, we got 2 on that table. Go ahead, Patton.
I didn't at first when I saw the notification. I'm like, oh, Aaron Donald won it 3 times. Okay, I thought it was Aaron Donald. Like, Aaron Donald would get triple team, double team until like maybe an hour later, and JJ posted on his Twitter the stats. I'm like, there's some good numbers from TJ. Like, and then you realize TJ is a linebacker too that play coverage. So TJ and like theoretically TJ playing is more valuable than Aaron Donald because TJ do more on the field. He go in the coverage and he rush the QB and stop the run. So I agree with Jimmy. TJ should at least won it, or it should be at least close in the votings. But that's how I see it.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Nijee, you played football, so you know this. Playing defensive line is not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
Getting triple teamed every game is not easy. But Aaron Donald's still putting up numbers every year. And also you see what his teammates do with if he's getting triple teamed, somebody else is open to go get the quarterback. So I think that's the more valuable part of Aaron Donald. And you just look at the playoff game that they had. TJ Watt had a stinker. Everybody forgets what happened in that Browns game because they got destroyed. Aaron Donald was the reason I think that the Rams won that game. He had 3 hits on Russell Wilson. He's a stellar guy. But Nijee, you just pointed him out. Let's stay in the family with the Watts. This just happened a few hours ago. J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans part from one another. The Texans cut him. I said it a few weeks ago. Anybody can get cut. Literally, anybody can get cut. Quickly, we go to everybody around. Nijee, we'll go to you first. Where do you want to see him? One word answer. Where do you want to see him? Lost him. That's good. Go ahead, Joe.
In Pittsburgh, because he loved his brother. He always talking about it. And he always talking about his like, oh, I'm gonna play with my brothers. I feel left out. I don't like Houston. So I can see him I can see him going to Pittsburgh and taking like a bad contract, like less money just to play with his brothers. And that might be dangerous. JJ, TJ, and Hayward on our D-line. So I might be.
Go ahead, Joe.
JJ Watt has been a great player for a long time, has been a tremendous person for the city of Houston, a real leader. But that does not change the fact that he is 10 years into an NFL career where he's been beaten up. At this point in his career, he's a good pass rusher. He's not great. I put him at the level of where Aldon Smith is right now. He's definitely not a transcendent talent that he once was. So wherever he goes, I would hope that he's not going to be treated like a guy who can change the course of your entire franchise.
But you still didn't say where did you want to see him?
Oh, but where do I want to see him? Well,
yeah, that's the important. I don't care about all that extra filler.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I want to see him. If San Fran can somehow figure it out, that would be a lot of fun.
And Bosa would be a little fun to watch. Ryan, go ahead.
I would say the Steelers, just for the whole family aspect. It would make him happy. That's the whole story of the brothers playing together. You don't get that at all in the league. Save the McCourty brothers, but I'm just happy for the guy. He left the sinking ship, and even though people are going to say that he's a traitor, I don't care. He needed to get the heck out of there. They just fired. Who they fire yesterday?
Was it? I think the GM. Well, somebody in the front office.
Somebody in the front office. They let go of yesterday.
It was the president. He's just like he
president.
left.
See,
he resigned.
Yeah, he resigned.
The dominoes just keep falling. I'm glad that he left, and I'm also glad that he came out and made a video and talked to the fans instead of just putting out a statement that's written to talk about it.
Houston's like purgatory now. Like you said, the ship's falling fast too. Jimmy, close us out on our last NFL block for a little bit.
I'm going to change it up. I mean, Green Bay, Wisconsin. He's a Wisconsin Badger. Go up there with Aaron Rodgers. He knows how to play in the cold. He played there in college, grew up there. I mean, the sentimental pick would be the Steelers, but you want a better chance to win. The Steelers ain't it right now. Green Bay, 1 seed last season. Go up there, try to get a ring, JJ, jump off the sinking ship. I mean, it really speaks to the just absolute atrocity of the Texans organization. Everyone just leaving ship. Face your franchise, but go up to Green Bay, try to get a ring, JJ, go for it.
We may never know. Look, we never know. Like I said earlier with Tampa Bay and a lot of vets, JJ might be going down to Florida.
Stop. We don't need to hear that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who goes to the Bucs. It's always going to be Tom Brady did it alone. Tom Brady carried the franchise. It doesn't matter.
You got to become the Warriors, dude. Ugh.
Yeah, you see, please, JJ Watt, if you are watching this, do not go to the Buccaneers. We do not want to see Tom Brady win an 8th ring. But,
I don't think he would. He's a stand-up guy. He wouldn't do that.
We'll see. Hey, gentlemen, this was some fun. We had some fun this semester on the NFL block. But that's all we have for this week on WP Sports. Next week, we'll be recapping again WP basketball. We're going to have some MLB action as well. But don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SportsDeskWP. I'd like to thank all the cast and crew for coming out, and I'd like to give a special shout out to our studio manager, Al Clarke. Don't have no paper this week, guys, but for everyone at the desk, I'm Samory Rose. We'll see you guys next week.